Good morning everyone and welcome to this new video. Today we will address a crucial issue for early stage startups, fundraising in the pre-seed stage. Last week I released a similar video regarding fundraising for Series A rounds, but I received several requests for clarification also for the pre-seed round, and so here we are. If you have an innovative idea and are looking for ways to raise the first funds to turn it into reality, maybe you are in the right place. We will see together what the best strategies are, which sources of funding to consider, and how to prepare to convince investors. So let's get started right away. First of all, what is the pre-seed stage? The pre-seed phase is the first stage of a startup's life. The one in which you have an idea, perhaps an initial prototype, but you don't have a complete product yet. In this phase, the main objective is to validate the business model, develop the product, and start testing the market. Pre-seed fundraising is used precisely to finance those initial activities, allowing to raise the necessary funds to take your first step in the market. Feasibility study. Before investing time and resources in fundraising, it is essential to conduct a feasibility study. The step helps to assess the real potential for the project and to understand if it is worth proceeding. Feasibility study analyzes various aspects, including the validity of the business idea, the target market, the competition, and the resources needed to develop the product. It also provides a preliminary assessment of risk and opportunities. A good feasibility study allows you to identify any critical issues early and make corrections to the project, saving time and money. Don't forget that accurate analysis can make all the difference when presenting your project to investors. It shows that you have done your homework and that you are ready to handle any challenge. Once the feasibility study has been successfully completed, at this point you can turn to investors. Otherwise, the project needs to be rethought. Pre-seed funding sources. So now let's look at the main sources of funding for a startup in the pre-seed stage. First of all, family, fools and friends. Fundraising from friends and family is a common choice in the pre-seed phase. The advantage is that people usually know the founder and are willing to invest in trust. However, it is important to present the project with transparency and professionalism to avoid misunderstanding and potential conflicts in the future. And then, angel investors. Angel investors are private investors who decide to bet on innovative projects at an early stage. They are often entrepreneurs or experienced professionals who, in addition to capital, can offer mentorship and networking. To find them, you can participate in networking events, pitch competitions, or use dedicated online platforms. Incubators and accelerators. Incubators and accelerators are programs that help startups in the early stages of development by offering capital, mentorship, and resources. Incubators focus on developing the idea, while accelerators support startups that are already underway, helping them grow quickly. Participating in an incubation program can offer access to a network of experienced investors and advisors. Finally, crowdfunding is a viable option for startups with a project that can spark interest from a wide audience. You can choose either between reward-based crowdfunding, where you offer products or services in exchange for contributions, and equity crowdfunding, while you sell a share of your startup to investors. Preparing the fundraising. Preparing fundraising takes time and attention to details. You will need a pitch deck, of course. A good pitch deck is essential for getting your startup in front of investors. Focus on the key points in production, problem, solution, market, business model, team, roadmap, and funding required, of course. Avoid entering too much information and be clear and direct. And a synthetic business plan, even if you are in the pre-seed stage, it is helpful to have a business plan that shows upfront costs, growth, projection, and so on. This helps investors understand how you will use the funds and what your short and medium-term goals are. And then a TRL assessment. Another important aspect is the technology readiness level, TRL. Parameter indicates the level of technological readiness of your product. In the pre-seed phase, it is essential to demonstrate that you have at least one working prototype or a validated concept. Now, which is the best way to present the project to investors? When presenting your project to investors, be prepared to answer difficult questions. Be transparent about the risks and show that you have a plan to deal with them. Use storytelling to make your presentation more engaging, and don't forget to build trust by regularly updating investors on the progress. So now let's look at some common mistakes in the pre-seed fundraising. First, ask for too much capital or too little. Calculate the amount you need carefully and be ready to justify it. Not having a clear plan for how to use funds. Investors want to know exactly how their money will be used, and neglecting networking. Build relationships with investors and keep in touch even if they don't decide to invest right away. Now, a short list of frequently asked questions in the pre-seed fundraising. How much equity should I give to pre-seed investors? So, of course, it depends on the capital required, but generally you will sell between 10 and 20%. How much capital should I raise? The ideal figure is the one that covers the cost of the 12 up to 18 months, so up to the seed phase. How much is the average capital raised in the pre-seed round? In Italy, the average amount raised by a startup in the pre-seed stage is around 150,000 euros, with an average of 6 investors participating in the round. In the United States, it stands at 300,000 up to $500,000. When to start fundraising? Start as early as possible, but make sure you have at least a prototype or an initial metric to show. Conclusion. Remember that fundraising is a process that requires time and patience. Prepare well, build strong relationships with investors, and be ready to adapt your pitch based on the feedback you receive. So, if this video was helpful to you, subscribe to the channel, leave a like and comment with your questions. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.